From local gyms in Manila to the top of the Olympic podium, a new generation of Filipino athletes is doing the seemingly impossible. They aren't just winning, they're dominating. In a single Olympic Games, the Philippines produced its first ever double gold medalist. In the world of athletics, a pole vaulter from Tondo consistently ranks among the world's best. In tennis, a young woman is shattering records that have stood for decades. But this isn't a story about a few lucky breaks. This is a story of a revolution, a sudden surge of talent, grit, and power that has taken the international stage by storm. So what's really behind this sudden, unexpected rise? To understand this new golden age, you have to look back. For decades, Philippine sports on the world stage was a story of solitary heroes, titans who carried a nation's hopes on their shoulders. The world knew the Philippines through the fists of Manny Pacquiao, a man who punched his way out of poverty to become a global icon, boxing's only 8-division world champion. His journey was a beacon, a true testament to the Filipino fighting spirit. Then came the breakthrough that changed everything: Heidelin Diaz. Ever felt like giving up because life was just too heavy? Heidelin literally carried that weight. From a humble village in Zamboanga, she lifted and lifted, failing and trying again, until she heaved a 127-kilogram barbell in Tokyo, and with it, the entire country. She delivered the Philippines its first ever Olympic gold medal, ending a nearly 100-year drought. Her victory wasn't just a win, it was a permission slip for an entire generation to dream bigger. Pacquiao and Diaz lit the torch, but they could never have imagined the wildfire that was about to spread. The next chapter of this story is written in the air, in twists and tumbles that defy gravity. It's the story of Carlos Yulo. Before he was a world champion, he was a small boy from Manila, captivated by gymnasts he'd watch for free in a public park. His family didn't have much, but he had a fire. His grandfather saw that spark and would scrounge up money for his transportation just so Kaloy could train. His raw talent was undeniable, but raw talent only gets you so far. The Philippines lacked the world-class facilities to forge a champion. The turning point came with one of the biggest sacrifices an athlete can make. He had to leave home. At just 16, Yulo moved to Japan, entering a world of disciplined, relentless training that pushed him to his absolute limit. He was alone, thousands of miles from his family, in a culture he didn't understand, chasing a dream that felt impossible. That sacrifice paid off. At the Paris 2024 Olympics, the impossible happened. Yulo stepped onto the floor, the world watching. He flew, he twisted, he landed flawlessly. Gold, the first ever Olympic gymnastics medal for the Philippines. But he wasn't done. Days later, he did it again, dominating the vault competition to win his second gold medal. Carlos Yulo became the first Filipino athlete in history to win multiple gold medals in a single Olympics. The boy who watched from the sidelines was now the king of the floor. At the same time Yulo was conquering gymnastics, another Filipino was soaring to unprecedented heights. Ernest John Obiena, or EJ, wasn't just aiming for the sky, he was trying to own it. Coming from a family of athletes, the pressure was different, but the challenges were just as immense. Like Yulo, he knew that to be the best, he had to leave. He moved to Formia, Italy, to train under the legendary Vitaly Petrov, the same coach who guided the greatest pole vaulters in history. His journey was a brutal climb. It was a battle against his body, against the world's best, and at times, against his own federation, in frustrating administrative disputes that threatened to derail his career. He faced injuries, but his spirit never broke. He pushed through the pain, the politics, and the loneliness, and he rose. By 2023, he had become the undisputed #2 pole vaulter on the planet, a fixture on podiums across the globe. At the World Athletics Championships, he won a historic silver medal. In the Paris Olympics, he fought his way to a 4th-place finish, a hair's breadth from a medal. It was a painful result, but it was also a stark improvement from his 11th-place finish in Tokyo. He proved he didn't just belong on the world stage, he was a contender for the throne every single time he stepped on the runway. Yulo and Obiena aren't isolated incidents. They are the twin titans of a much larger movement, a golden generation asserting its presence across the sporting world. Look at the boxing ring, a traditional source of Filipino pride. In Paris, Nesti Patetio, who already had a silver from Tokyo, battled her way to a bronze, becoming a two-time Olympic medalist. Alongside her, Ira Villegas, fighting through injuries just to qualify, also secured a bronze on her Olympic debut. Then look at the tennis court. Alex Ayala, a prodigious talent, has been on a tear. In June 2025, she reached a career-high WTA singles ranking of 56, the highest ever for a Filipina player, after a stunning run to a WTA Tour final. And it goes on. In rowing, Joni Delgaco became the first Filipina ever to qualify for the Olympics, finishing 20th overall in Paris. In weightlifting, a new crop of athletes like Elrene Ando are making their own mark. This is no longer a story of lone wolves. This is the story of a pack. A shockwave of Filipino talent is being felt in every corner of international sport, and the world is finally taking notice. So, what changed? How did this all happen? The answer isn't a single magic bullet, but a combination of critical factors. For years, the biggest hurdle for Filipino athletes was a lack of resources. But a shift is underway. First, there's a revitalized focus on grassroots programs discovering talent earlier than ever. The pipeline is getting stronger. Second, there's growing support from both the public and private sectors. Following the Paris success, which marked the country's best-ever Olympic performance, calls for increased government funding grew louder. Visionary private organizations like the MVP Sports Foundation have also stepped in, providing critical funding for the world-class training and facilities that the government couldn't always offer. And finally, it's the athletes themselves. Their resilience has forced the system to change. Their victories have created an undeniable wave of national pride and proved that investing in sports is investing in the spirit of the nation. It's the powerful Filipino concept of Laban, the fighting spirit, personified not by one but by many. From Diaz's singular historic gold to Yulo's double gold coronation in Paris, the landscape of Philippine sports has been redrawn in just a few short years. What was once a trickle of success has become a flood. This is more than just a golden generation. It's a statement. It's a declaration that the Philippines is no longer just a participant in the world of sports, but a powerhouse in the making. The stories of Carlos Yulo, EJ Obiena, and their contemporaries are not just about medals and records. They're about sacrifice, about leaving home, about overcoming bureaucracy and injury, and about an unshakable belief in what a Filipino athlete can achieve. This isn't the peak, it's just the base camp for a much higher climb. A new dawn for Philippine sports is here. If their stories inspired you, show your support by hitting that like button, subscribing for more stories of triumph, and sharing this video with every Filipino proud of our flag. And let us know in the comments, who is your favorite Filipino athlete right now, and whose story should we tell next?